Frank, over here. Would you like to think that Brock Lesnar is somewhere and he just watched you fight?
I really just want Brock to get healthy, you know, to be honest with you. Maybe if you watch the fight, he'd be more inclined not to get too healthy, I don't know.
Did you look at this fight as a statement, either to Czech or to Brock?
Most statement for myself in my training camp, to say that I could bounce back from such a watched and, you know, a decisive loss from Brock. How did I deal with it mentally? Would I be able to choke knowing that I was going into this with a loss, and another loss could have been very detrimental to my career? Also going out there against Czech Kongo, which a lot of people, you know, a loss to Czech would have been, you know, a pretty bad statement on my career. It was an opponent that I really felt that I had to come out there and decisively smash to make a statement. If I had went out there and won a 3-round decision against Czech Kongo, I don't think that really would have elevated my status. I think going out there and you know, winning, so there's a lot of pressure, and so that pretty much was, you know, how do you deal with a lot of pressure? And I think you can see my demeanor, my facial expression walking in there. I deal with it pretty well.
And Dana, I saw you tweeted that you were in shock after that fight. Is that the most shocked you've been after a Frank Mir fight?
Yeah, I was expecting a back and forth war in that fight. Frank looked awesome, man. It was an unbelievable fight. You know, it's one thing, you know, for him to run out there. Listen, when you talk as much shit as Frank did before that fight, you better go in and back it up, man. He did, you know. And not only, you know, it's one thing, did anybody doubt he'd pull off a submission against Kongo if it went to the ground? More than likely, but he dropped him, then submitted him. He backed up every ounce of that shit, every ounce. So, very impressive.
This question's for Frank. Is that more for this fight, or is that looking into the future?
That's just to be competitive for me in the heavyweight division. You're seeing so many giants out there. I mean, look at the guy Stearns tonight, you know, 6'11". When that guy gets another few years under his belt, he's going to easily be pushing the 265 limit. Brock and Shane Carwin are both up there at the higher echelons of the other weight. The only guy who's not, who's one of the top feeders, is Cain Velasquez. But that's Cain. He also wrestled heavyweight in college and was very, very effective, you know, at that weight. So some people don't have to be that size. I think for me, liking strikes and submissions, power is a very important attribute. And so it does well for my style to be that way. And so regardless of who I fight next, I think being 265, and, you know, as soon as I get back to the gym in Philippi, I plan on being stronger and stronger to the point where I really start, you know, even this fight I had to cut a few pounds to make the 265 mark, and I hope to be someone who's cutting 15, 20 pounds eventually to make 265. You know, obviously it takes a little bit of time to put the size on, but that's my goal.
Where do you see Frank's win as far as the heavyweight division and how that's all going to sort out now? He kind of, in some ways, I think he leapfrogged over some guys as far as interest in a title fight anyway.
I don't disagree with that at all. You know, Frank was coming off a loss, you know, going for the title, and then, you know, Kongo's coming off a loss too, but like I said, you're right. His win was so impressive, and he did everything he said he was going to do. It's one thing to say it. It's easy to sit there and say what you're going to do and talk about it, and it's another thing to go in and do it, and he did it very impressively tonight. So it's interesting. Like I said, the great thing about it is that the heavyweight division has never been more interesting than it is right now. It's only getting better.
And Frank, what do you think as far as, do you think that when Brock's healthy that you should be the next winner? Do you feel you need to win one more match, or what do you think would be fair?
Well, obviously Carwin had the first opportunity there, and due to Brock's health, that took him out. It depends on what, you know, Carwin does in the meantime. I know he has to recover from his knee surgery. If he goes and has another fight, obviously I have to have another fight also. That makes it dangerous for him, though. If he goes out and has a poor performance, and I have another performance anywhere near like tonight, that could put me right back up there again. It's just, that's how the heavyweight division is. It kind of just depends. Do I definitely think that I'm neck to neck with the other top 2 guys in there? Absolutely. I think that, you know, Cain Velasquez is a very impressive fighter, but he also just went 3 rounds with Czech Kongo, or couldn't submit him or knock him out, you know, and I was able to almost knock him out and submitted him. You know, so it just kind of depends on what happens now with Brock. It depends on how long he's out. If he's out for a year, then I don't think any of us are going to sit and wait just to wait for a title shot. We have to feed our families, so we'll all be fighting. So a lot more to tell to then.
Dana, on that account, I mean, as far as Lesnar, I mean, is there going to be any? What time? Do you know when you'll be able to know? You know, if he's going to need surgery and if he's going to be able to fight anytime soon?
We'll know in a month to a month and a half whether he's going to need that major surgery. If he needs that major surgery, there'll be an interim title.
Frank, even though there's a lot of smack talk before the fight, after the fight, it looked like you were genuinely concerned about Czech, and you walked over, you checked him out, and you gave him a hug. What did you say to him, and what was going through your mind when he was down and you didn't get up?
Obviously, I was concerned about his health. When I looked over and realized how far passed out he was, you know, the fight's over with. There is no, I guess it makes us who we are. We can turn the switch on to go out there and want to choke someone unconscious and break every bone in their body. But once I flip that switch off, that's over with. I'm back to being a father and a human being to where I have to look over and say, oh, you know, I guess you have to have a split personality. So honestly, I was just worried that he was okay. I seen he was struggling really to get up to his feet. He took a really hard shot and then got finished off with a really tight choke. So that's pretty much the two worst things that can happen to you in the fight, you know, to your brain. So, and then when I walked over to him, I really didn't say anything. Obviously, you know, I didn't want anything to come off wrong. I'm probably the last person he wanted to look at that moment, but I just wanted to show him that, you know, hey, fight's over with. There's no reason to keep this going, and it's done, and we've done what we had to do, and, you know, eventually we might face each other again, but, you know, as of right now, back to mutual respect, and as a person, I hope he was going to be okay.